We rolling.
On the air.
We rolling.
We're rolling. Hey, welcome everybody to the Thursday edition of Citizen Watch on KYOS AM 1480. We've had 3 shows this week. I don't know if people are getting sick of our voice or they can't get enough, but this is the last show this week. We have in studio, of course, Steve Colvard, the best engineer in AM radio, and our lovely co-host. And then we have Robert, the Velvet Sledgehammer Tomasetti. And I'm Casey Steed, reporting from an undisclosed location. Where did you go this weekend, Robert? Did you go play the ponies?
Hey, guess what? My horoscope. No, I'm not going to let you play me like you did, Mr. Thurston, like you're not Rona Barrett, like you're going to
you're Rona Barrett.
Yeah, but you're Barbara Wawa.
Do you play the ponies?
We went to, that was pretty neat. We went to Arnie from Arnie's Humidor, Ron Ramirez, Ralph, I, and Dennis. We all went up, my buddies, we went up to Golden Gate Fields. They have dollar Sundays.
Absolutely.
So we pulled in, it was $1. Yep. You walk through the gate, it's $1. Hot dogs, beer was $1.
Yep.
I ended up winning about $40.
Not bad.
No, I got
dinner?
lucky.
Was that $1 too?
We won't go into dinner. My friends are a little angry at me.
Well, let me guess. You ordered something, didn't pay for it, and put it on their tab?
Nope. Just the opposite.
Robert tried to sneak out on the field.
Exactly.
No,
I forgot my wallet.
No. I don't drink, so I get an iced tea. So, they all ordered a drink. So it gets to the end, and Arnie's viewpoint is hey, everybody's friends. Just take the bill, split it 5 ways. Not me. I was like, wait a minute. Why am I paying for your alcoholic beverages? So the whole way home, all I heard was how cheap I was and what a jerk I was because we're supposed to be friends. And I said, well, let me put it to you this way. With my steak, if I would have put a lobster on it, I'm sure you guys would have kind of backed that out and said, you ordered lobster. But they said no. So next time I'm going to put them to the test. I'm going to order the most expensive
Well, you do kind of have a reputation around here as a party crasher.
Who's a party crasher?
That's what I heard. You show up at events and say, hey, I'm with so-and-so. You come in, get the free meal. And
You're so full of
That's
poop.
what I heard. I heard that they.
I get every event at the Italian American Lodge. I am there.
So you don't show up for freebies?
I work it.
You never showed up to one that didn't work.
He does pretty well.
What? Yeah, Steve's trying to throw me under a bus because I stole his banana. Banana yesterday. I got him when he was busy. He was having a conversation with Mr. Thurston, and I ate one of his bananas. So this morning, I brought him 2 bananas, and he's all mad at me.
Yeah, these bananas are 4 inches long.
They're the Mexican bananas. They call them plantayas or something like that.
Yeah.
What are they, Case?
Hey, did you guys hear that the Board of Supervisors had a revelation?
Yes, I heard that. 1,000 beams of light.
Yeah, they think we're in they realize that we're in a drought.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? I didn't hear them giving any kind of intelligent rhetoric about what to do about the drought. That's my problem with the supervisor.
Pedroso said if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down.
Hey, speaking of John Pedroso, did you see what he did in Planada?
No, would he have a community meeting or did
county
he paint
supervisors?
over the Roman numerals?
No, remember when we went over there and said we need to, on the Planada's community hall, we were going to go over there and paint it?
Yeah.
We don't have to do that anymore. It's going to be remodeled.
Well, that's great. Maybe they can get real Roman numerals instead of having those spray painted ones on.
Why don't they just put them in copper? Like they do Merced, they could just put them in copper.
Like the E and the R?
Yeah, but they could put the X, the I, and the V, and it'll be there permanently. Then you don't have to worry about...
No, that stands for Norteño, and they mark their territory like a dog marks a fire hydrant. And
cats.
The only way you can get rid of that is keep painting it over day after day. And
look at this. What? HSA is going to manage the building and use it for programs for parent education, senior citizen programs, and nutrition services.
That's your buddy's.
That's my buddy, Anna Pagan, which she hasn't responded yet to my mail. The HSA will fund about $100,000 in upgrades. Wow.
That's probably where they're going to park the
truck.
Food truck.
Speaking
there,
of the food truck,
the cow and farmers.
What about it?
I saw Muzi yesterday.
Where was she?
Muzi, the cow, was parked in the old Save Mart supermarket parking lot here by the radio station. Kind of, where that taco truck parks down?
Yeah.
Right next to that.
Where all the prostitutes used to get their tacos.
But here's my question. Muzi's over there doing what? Because that's not one of their sites. Have they moved their sites? We need to have an update on Muzi. And remember...
There's no grocery store over there, Robert. That's why
No,
there.
Look, I understand that. But the whole idea with this truck was, it was stupid as stupid gets. It was a sales job to get the money, and now they've bastardized the program, is the way I look at it. They were going to put it in these school sites. We complain about the school sites and that. Now they've moved it somewhere else. You know, when you got a program, the program should be sold as is, not morphed, not sell the program to this public. Get the money and then morph it to the way you want it to do, or come up with, you know, it just shows that the RFP was written wrong. I mean, instead of having a consensus of how this should work and everything, they were real quick to do it. They found they had problems, and now they're making changes as they go along, which I understand. But the whole point was, my argument was, the RFP was jobbed in the first place. It was sold, you know, with a bill of goods that's not going to work. Okay, that was duplicitous. And now all of a sudden they're trying to make it fit after they already got the pledge of money.
That's how the government works, brother.
Well, they were
That's
trying to
just
go
how the
after
government
childhood
works.
obesity and diabetes, but they forgot about asthma with that dirty old truck with no diesel exhaust filter. But who knows? They probably got an exemption, and who knows? Hey, did you guys read that the homeless count went up by double? We have twice as many homeless in town than we used to.
Yeah, and I think Mayor Thurston suggested maybe we counted a few of them double.
Did you hear that?
We went from 372 last year to 768.
Dang, that is a double.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So I don't know. Of course, they had some of the homeless folks out there, I guess, counting, and I'm sure they wanted to pad the numbers a little bit. I guess you get more aid. The more people you count, the more government money comes. It'd be nice if we could have some jobs.
Yeah.
You know, and
we're pretty
get some
good
of
at
these people off.
We're pretty good at those grants and stuff here in this county, boy. We suck those suckers right up.
Well,
I'm
the
sure
government money flows, I'll tell you. The government money flows well. And speaking of government money, did you see where the school board went ahead and voted unanimously? Dr. Walsh, said it's time for people to step up to the plate for our children's education.
We haven't
Walsh,
been?
What have we been doing all of these years?
We've been stepping. I don't know if they have.
We got to do it for the children.
Well, I've got two bond measures on my property tax bill now. How many more do we want to add?
Remember that old song? Hey, Case.
$1 million bond will help.
Case, remember that old song by, remember it was...
Carpenters.
Yeah, but it started out as Nadia's theme. That's the song, is Nadia's theme by Perry Botkin Jr. I know because my brother Perry loved it when he was 14. I don't know, maybe he had the hots for Nadia. But anyways, it was Bless the Beast and the Children by the Carpenters, and I always remember that every time I hear somebody say it's for the children, I go, Bless the Beast and the Children.
Exactly. And anybody that...
You know, it's one of these things where if we could, you know, they've identified over $350 million in need. They can bond up to $119 million with the property tax values in town, but they're going to go after a mere $30 per $100,000 of assessed value. So all you people that are property owners in Merced, with the sound of my voice, get prepared. They only want another $30 for every $100,000 of assessed value on your property for the next, I think this bond is a 40-year bond.
But see, that's
40 years. Think about that.
Yeah.
40
if we borrow
years.
$60 million, we're going to pay back double that at least.
Exactly. It's kind of like your house. You ask a person, boy, that's a beautiful house. How much you pay for it? $300,000. Isn't it beautiful? Yeah, go, yeah. By the time you're done, it's $1 million house. What do you mean? Right. Then when you amortize it over 30 years, you find out the guy paid $900,000 for a $300,000 house.
Yeah. That long-term debt financing kills you. The long-term debt financing kills you.
Here's my question. If it's for the children, it seems like we're
leaving our children a lot of debt for sure.
That's my point. The children are going to pay for it themselves. Here you go.
Here, grandson, take this bill.
Well, but the point
they say they're going to give them a 21st century education, but it's going to be paid off in the 22nd century the way they're going.
In the last 3 weeks, I did a couple of field trips. And I went to a couple of schools. One was raggedy, and the other was pretty nice. And the funny thing was when I read how much money they're going to give to the schools, the raggedy school only got $5 million, and the great school got $10 million. Yeah. I do not understand. And they said, well, we need to be updated for modern technology. And I'm thinking, with Wi-Fi, you don't have to drill any holes in a wall. All you got to do is get a Wi-Fi hotspot.
But that's one of my issues with government, is if you go to a school and they say we need to update our computer system or our computer access or whatever the case may be, then you should be able to tell me, let me see the estimate from the contractor that tells us how much it's going to cost. Let's see the bidding process. Oh,
Right.
this is what it costs. Okay, well, let's bond for that amount. But it's not like that. It's like they get the money first, and then they start figuring how much it's going to cost. That's why government is so ass backwards.
Because they bid on a wish list.
I want to see exactly how that money's going to be spent. I want to see the bidding process. I want to see what the contracts are before I vote on a bill. I'm not going to just give you $10 million and trust you to spend it wisely.
Well, here's the point. Everybody knows I'm kind of cheap, and I cut corners.
No.
Okay, so here's the deal. I'm in my office.
Banana Steve got. We don't know you're cheap.
Good-looking bananas, man.
And the fact that you sneak into fundraisers and tell people
I didn't sneak into fundraisers.
That's what I'm
You're
hearing,
so
dude.
full of poop.
I heard you've been banned from a few.
Yeah,
You see Tomasetti show up at the door. Do not let him in.
That would only be if it's for the Merced Union High School District Superintendent's fundraiser. Anyways, here's the deal. I had an office lady who has managed the building. She let me have her Wi-Fi, right? So they ran a cord. I bought the cord. I had somebody come in, run the cord. I got free Wi-Fi. So anyways, she leaves. Now I got to find Wi-Fi. So what do? I fall for these stupid-ass ads, right? $19.95 from Comcast. So I call Comcast. Oh, I'm sorry. You're a commercial building. That'll be $72, $66. And I'm like, what? Because you're commercial. What does that have to do with any difference of anything? Yeah. So anyways, so I call AT&T. Well, that'll be $67. The lady goes, wait a minute. You have a smartphone. Yeah. You could turn your smartphone for $20 into a Wi-Fi hotspot. And I'm like, really? Yes, sir. Let me take a look. Yep. $20 extra. You can have a Wi-Fi hotspot anywhere you go. Anywhere?
Yeah, I've done that. Works well.
Works great. What it cost me? $20. Now, if I would have put one in my house, hotspot, not a hotspot, but cable in my house from Comcast, that's $30. Now, if I put it in my home, in my business, that'd be $66. That's $96. I got it for $20. What did I do? I looked at how much money I could spend and afford. Do schools do this? No. What do they have to have? They can't have a Mr. Coffee at $20 at Costco. No. They got to buy a $120 Keurig.
That's why it's so asinine to put the cart before the horse. You ask for
do.
money before you know how you're going to spend it. Get the bids first. Figure out what it's going to cost.
You wonder out of this $119 million in what they call high priority, if they're only going to bond for $60 million, what are they going to take? The highest of the highest priority? This is where this confusion, the fog of war comes into place that we saw on Measure M, where they promise us that they're going to spend the money on certain things, and then they end up not having enough money.
Well, here's the point, too. Do they use actual hard-earned numbers? Look, when I talked to the principal, she was awesome. She said, sir, you can look around wherever you want. I told her who I was, told her what I was doing. And I said, I read in the newspaper you need $10.5 million. Well, that's what they projected as. Why? Well, we need to
who projected as?
School district.
I mean, they come in there and estimate, let's see here. It's going to, let's ask for $10.5 million. Is that how, I mean, how do you know how much to ask for if you don't know how much it's going to cost to install or fix? Why don't you call out a contractor and say, what would you charge me to get this done? Oh, $7.9 million? Okay, so we need $7.9 million on the bond for this school. And then go to the next one and do the same process. Well, get the bids first before you ask for the money.
Well, here's the thing I don't understand. If you're using a Wi-Fi hotspot, they have companies that will come in and set up a hotspot. Okay, set your firm up as a hotspot. You look at Starbucks. Who set up their hotspot? You look at McDonald's. Who set up? Yeah. We go there all the time and steal their Wi-Fi. Yeah. Okay.
It's that same theory about building the fence over at Atwater High School's pool. It's like, give me $50 million to build a fence, right? No, we can do it for 19.
Right. Well, 50,000, yeah, and the students did it for 19.
Exactly.
So.
I mean, they didn't need $50 million. They wanted $50 million, just like they probably want $10 million to rewire that school. But what's it actually going to cost? Where's the bidding process? Mm-hmm. Why don't you do the bidding process before you ask for the money?
You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like the military. When I was in the military in 1980 and I joined, they were having all these things in the 70s about $800 coffee pots and $300 hammers and $400 toilet seats. And what you find out later is that was just a ruse. The toilet seats didn't cost that much. That's how much they projected it to cost so they can hide money to pay for something down the road.
Amen.
And so
that's why I say no to tax increases and no to bond floats also, because it's not about the bond float. It's not just about the maintenance of the buildings or the upkeep of the buildings. There's other fees built into that so they can keep.
Well, you look at Merced Union High School District. Okay, we got a kickback from the state. We got all this stuff. We spent the majority and the lion's share of Measure M for Scott Scambray's Taj Mahal. Him, Leonard Kahn, and Mr. Travis I don't remember Travis's last name now. It evades me, but anyways, the gentleman is in charge of facilities, and Travis has got some problems over there, and instead of addressing those problems, they just shine it on and tell you what a beautiful school it is.
It's ass backwards, bro. It's ass backwards, and I'm not voting for another freaking increase in taxes or another bond float until I see where the money's going. You're not going to come and ask me, and this is just my personal opinion, to give you $10 million until you show me the contract and the estimate for what it's going to cost to put that Wi-Fi system in.
Right.
Well, let me ask you a real honest. Let me ask you an honest question before we go to break for this. LeGrand wants a bond issue. They're going to float a bond issue. Weaver's going to float a bond issue or floated a bond issue. Yeah. Merced City Schools is going to float a bond issue. Merced High School District floated a bond issue. My taxes already say that Merced College floated a bond issue and Merced City Schools floated one several years back.
Yep.
When I look at Merced City Schools, they want $65 million, but they tell me the problem is a $300 million, and this is what doesn't make sense. If you really actually need $300 million, get it.
Well, they're probably talking to a consultant saying, hey, you better knock it down a little bit.
Speaking of consultants.
Yeah, well, you have to save that for the next commercial, for the next break. But anyway, you're listening to Citizen Watch on this Thursday evening with Robert Tomasetti, Casey Steed, at an undisclosed location. Who says they're at the bunker? Whose line is that? Is that
the what?
Is that Limbaugh?
What?
Who says they're at that?
That's not Limbaugh. That's somebody else. I forget who says it.
You know what I'm talking about, though. Anyway,
Marty Levine.
I think Casey's at the Mustang Ranch.
No, not in here.
Anyway, folks, we'll be right back.
Hey, folks, here we are back with our second segment on a Thursday, February 27th. And
what the heck?
Birthday, excuse me. February 27th. Hey, we just probably should give a shout out to Steve Gomes. He's having his little dog and pony show tonight, I believe.
Today?
Giving out his, is it today or won't people
11:30.
It's 11:30.
Oh, well, never mind. But
he has another one tomorrow.
I don't know if you guys read that we had a new interim public defender named by the Board of Supervisors.
They look like Bela Lugosi.
Around a little longer than the last one.
Doesn't he look like Bela Lugosi?
I don't know.
The guy looks like he's from Transylvania.
I don't know if he's any relation to
no,
the chief.
He's not related.
But hey, I got something I thought was funny. Did you?
What?
Okay. Did you? If I'm a criminal, I don't want a public defender. I'll tell you why. Do you know where this guy got his law degree at?
Where?
He attended the New College Law School, a public interest law school. What's a public interest law school? In San Francisco, which is no longer in existence. Okay, I'm thinking, hey, wait a minute. Why don't you just get your law degree at 7-Eleven while you're at it? I mean, with a cup of coffee.
Yeah, well, if you're represented by this guy, get prepared for the words guilty.
But here's the funny part about all of this, okay? This is the thing that makes no sense. This is who the Board of Supervisors thought was the best man for a job. It's like, I'm like, really?
Brenda Porass thought the previous one was the best man for her representation.
Yeah, but she found him hanging around.
Yeah, but that goes back to that situation that we're having in this community about people using diploma mills in order to get high pay raises.
Right.
New College Law School?
Yeah, and that's just awesome, man. I swear I have my degree. You call and check. Oh, you can't call and check because we're not in existence anymore. But trust me, see that little paper behind me on the wall? I have it, I promise.
How come we can't do that for jobs? They say you have to have a bachelor's degree, and I could say,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's the allegations in this community that there's people in our school system that have postgraduate degrees from diploma mills, which allow them to make another $10,000 or $15,000 a year. That's fraud.
Okay.
That's fraud.
Here's the funny part.
That's a criminal offense.
Okay, here's the funny part. I go on, first thing I do in the morning is I look at ESPN. I look at the stock market, anything trading, anything, trends. So on the bottom, they have like the 10 hottest girls from the 90s that are still hot today. They got these stupid things. Yeah. One of them is where you can get a good education degree online. And I'm like, hey, I heard about that. So I click on it. Here's Grand Canyon University. Yeah. Swamp Life of Georgia. You're like, holy cow. And these places are like...
And it's not fair to the guys that, and the gals that go to these accredited universities, universities with prestige, they get the same diploma.
Can I be honest?
The same postgraduate degree, and they get paid the same as some guy that got it off the internet.
Let me get this right. Okay, I want you to be a handicapper for this.
Okay.
Larry Morse is the prosecutor, University of Arkansas. Mr. Andrade's from the New College Law School. Who do you think is going to get their asses kicked?
I'm throwing some miles on Larry.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I think, like I say, get used to the words guilty. Hey, Robert, any word on that homicide by your house in the hood over there?
No, but the monument's up.
Do they have the little cross and the voter
They got the
candles
crosses
going?
and the pictures when he was 6 and all that. That poor child. I feel so bad. You know, it's terrible. I mean, you know,
Is that literally by your house? They literally have
Yeah,
a
block
you
away.
check your house for holes?
I didn't have to check nothing. There's 3 other houses between me and the firing line. But the funny part about it is all my neighbors were, did you hear it? Did you hear it? I'm like, no, I was asleep. What do I hear all kinds of noises. You know, 6 o'clock in the morning, you hear guys speaking Spanish, you know, Radio Lobo as they're going, Radio Lobo. You know, I hear the trains going. You become like,
yeah, it's true.
Plus my house is 1902. And what happens with a 1902 house, you can be 2 rooms down and not hear anybody talking. They're very well made, very sturdy. And the only time I would probably know is if I got winged by a bullet, because I would never...
Do you have modern appliances and stuff in there? I mean, you have like central heat and air and all that stuff?
No, I don't have central heat and air.
So you heat by like a stove or what?
Yeah, what do you think this is, frickin' Abraham Lincoln?
In his room, he puts wood in.
Right. Well, 1902, dude. I mean, that's way back in the day.
Yeah, it is in the day.
100 and something years ago.
So what's your point?
I'm just asking, do you have modern amenities? You have running water and shit? Or do you
I have to go out. I have to go out there in a shitter, which is a little.
Be careful.
Yeah, he has an outhouse in the backyard. He has to go out in his nightshirt with the flap at the back.
I do have a nightshirt.
No, but you do. You have like a modern.
No, I have everything except what they did in those houses is they have floor heaters. Okay, it doesn't have central air, but what I do is in the rooms that I do, I have an air conditioning unit for it. It's fine.
You have a basement?
No, but I can make one.
Yeah.
I mean, I can walk under my house.
First house I lived at here had a basement. It was cool.
Yeah, but they don't really...
I lived in a house over on 1027 West 19th Street over in the alley there. It had a floor heater, and first house I ever lived in when I moved out.
Wait a minute,
of the house.
that's like near here. Where?
I had a sleeping bag. I didn't even have a bed when I moved out, and I made the mistake of letting that sleeping bag slip over that floor heater, and I woke up in the middle of the night, it on fire, and the house full of smoke. So you got to be careful of those floor heaters. They don't distribute the heat real evenly.
Did you go to the New College Law School too?
No, I didn't. I didn't get my degree. Hey, speaking of law, did you hear that the sheriff's race is pared down by one candidate? They had somebody drop out, and Vern Warnicki was endorsed by one of the unions over there.
Yeah.
So they're his choice. It was between him and Pat Lunny. Lunny got 37%, and I think Vern got 55% of the membership's endorsement. So he's the favorite son for the union over there.
Got a question for you.
But it's shaping up to be a
who dropped out?
Race.
Howard.
There was a young kid. Well, I say young. He was 41 years old.
That's young.
Works for the sheriff's department. I think he's in the gang or some sort of special operations. It was just too much of a conflict with his work and his
You ever
family
see a picture? You ever see
for office? I think, as he said in the paper, he wanted to stand behind who the union was endorsing. He didn't want to buck the union.
That's pretty good. Because you ever see Vern Warnke?
No, I never have.
Nice man.
Gray
hair, little overweight. He's only 55. I thought he was older than that. And shit, he's only
55 and retired.
Yeah, 55. He's only 3 years older than I do, and he looks a lot more older.
Well,
Maybe I'm just young looking.
Only, I think, 52 or 53.
57.
He's 57?
Yep.
Yeah, there he goes. Marky's got gray. Hey, but I do have something for you that I thought was interesting. I read in the newspaper. Casey, you want to make $87,000?
Oh, I'd love to. How do I do that? Selling stock from home? Or
No, you make $87,000 by just sitting there on G Street and trying to tell the city where there is good, where the lights should be calibrated.
Synchronizing the lights.
87,000.
Yeah, that doesn't even. That's not even the cost of the hardware. That's just the study.
Exactly.
But here's my question.
And what you're going to see is you're going to see those little black things that you drive over, those counters.
Yeah.
And then they're going to take the information from the counters and the flow of traffic, and then they'll put it into a system.
But wait a minute.
Look.
Here's my point. You're making $87,000. You should be in a lawn chair counting them. 1, 2. No. Not sit there, put a strip out, which does all the work for you, and then charge and hose the city $87,000. But here's what I have a question at. And I should have asked this to Stan yesterday, and I forgot. When the city comes up with a budget, do they have earmarked money for consulting fees?
Well, that was part of a grant, actually.
Oh.
And they get this, and of course everybody says, hey, don't worry about it, it's a grant. Well, where the hell did that grant money come from?
I know, Case. Go ahead. Tell them when you file your tax return, how many, come on, Case, give your spiel.
Well, when I file a tax, I don't know about everybody else, but I file 2 tax returns, and they come out of the same paycheck, the same wallet, the same checking account.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's federal, state,
folks,
local.
That was a Caseyism.
Yep. It's all taxpayer dollar.
That is a Caseyism. Just like I could swing a dead cat, that's a Caseyism. We are going to write a book on Caseyisms.
Or if they had an original thought, it'd be on loan. I thought that was a good one.
Yeah, that would be pretty good.
Yeah, well, we're probably going to get some hate mail from PETA. Maybe it's a good time now to tell people to call in. Our tip line is 209-406-8728. We've got some great tips we're actually ferreting out, trying to run down before we report them to the people.
Salacious tips.
We always need new stuff. And then, of course, if you want to watch our shows, KYOS, space 1480 AM in the
watch our shows
search block. And Robert, I can never remember what our email address is.
Wait a minute. You just said if you want to. Wait, if you said if you want to, yeah, because I set it up. You said, hey, if you want to watch our shows. It's not watch.
Listen,
radio.
Listen.
Are you moonlighting on like Jimmy Kimmel Live or something?
No, I always forget that. I say, YouTube is such a visual medium that people may not realize that we're on there, but you can listen to our audio file on YouTube. And
we are radio.
We are over 1,000 hits now. No kidding, folks. And I really want to thank our listeners for
what's this
for getting us to that point, and hopefully we can continue. But we do need your input, your letters. If you want to send something into the studio, 1020 West Main Street, Merced, California, 95340. You can put it to any one of our attention, and we'll get it and report on it.
It's citizenwatchmerced, all one word, at yahoo.com.
Citizenwatchmerced at yahoo.com.
Hey, I got something.
Send in some anonymous tips if you want, or just let us know how you feel, how you think the show's going. We got some input yesterday from the mayor. He goes, what's the name of your show? And we said Citizen Watch. And he goes, well, why don't you have more citizens on? And
we do.
Robert and I have been talking about maybe getting some different people in, some of the pillars of the community, if you will.
No, I don't want to do that.
You know what
I really liked? No, I'm going to be very honest. What I really think is pretty cool is get a no name off the street. Say, hey, show up at such and such. We'd like to put you on a radio, and what we would like to do is we'd like to get your commentary and your opinions. I have my thing is when you get to pillars of, when you talk to Josh and John and Mark Pazin and Pat Lunny and Larry Morse, they all have canned dialogue. Okay, it's all scripted. They come here with 3 pages of notes. It's all scripted of what they want to say. They don't answer your questions. They shuck and jive and they dodge some things. And what I would like to do is I would like to get regular citizens like Steve Colvard and people like Steve and at the Racket Club. Hey, what do you think of this? Bring them down and say, hey, let's talk to you.
We do. I mean, I think we kind of have a research group down there at the hot tub.
No, but I understand
walk in there and there's some interesting discussions.
But I would like them to come here.
Yeah.
You get somebody, hey, you work at a dental clinic. Okay, hey, you work in a medical clinic. Tell us about how this Obamacare is going. Well, let me tell you the pitfalls. I want to get real people, average Joes on the street, not pillars of community that want to tout or have either a vendetta, have a message.
Well, that's just called Citizen Watch, like Casey said. And, we're all about just making sure that the average citizen is not getting hosed by our government. True. Local, federal, or state.
But they are getting
I know hosed. We are, but at least we can illuminate it and complain about it.
I heard Deidre Kelsey's not.
Hey, guess what? Now that she's got a couple of free moments, maybe she can come in.
You just want to date with her because she's a single mom.
Give us some insight there. So
we're gonna have to put a metal detector at the front door.
You know what I like? You know what I thought was really interesting was I really did think that was interesting was that Deidre Kelsey. Rumor is that she's not running again.
Yeah, that is the rumor out there that she's not going to seek re-election coming up in 2016.
I can't imagine why.
Well,
You
she's
think
been
it's
in the
us?
saddle
I'm
24
shocked.
years. I mean, you got to be getting tired of it.
What are you getting tired of doing what?
24 years.
Casey, I go to John Pedroso's office. I go to Hub Walsh's office. I'm up on the supervisor's floor whenever I'm in there. What's up? What's going on? They'll talk to you. They're there. Where is Jerry O'Bannon? I understand he's on the west side. Where is Deidre? Is she like mining for gold on her property? I mean, she's never in her office. You try to get her on the email, no response. So the way I look is this young lady's collecting about $100,000 a year about doing nothing except voicing an opinion.
Basically, what you're saying is in Deidre Kelsey's part of the office building, you could swing a dead cat and not hit anybody.
Yep. I think let's use that Caseyism.
It's time to take a break, folks. You're listening to Citizen Watch here on this Thursday evening. We'll be right back with Robert the Velvet Sledgehammer Tomasetti,
Yo.
Casey Steed,
The voice of men.
Yo-Yo, and me.
Yo-Yo.
Yo-Yo. We'll be right back.
All right.
Hey, what are you guys trying to do? Street cred?
Hey, here we are, folks, our third and final segment on February 27th edition of Citizen Watch on KYOS 1480 AM, the best radio station, the big stick in Merced. You know, if you want to know what's going on, local radio is it, and you're tuned in to the best show on KYOS. Well, one of the best shows. You know, we have quite a lineup there, folks. We have the Kingsley Report, which is usually heard on Wednesday evening. We got his slot last night because he was filling up basketballs, but we were able to get an extra show in. I don't know when he's going to be heard again. Of course, we have Tea Party Straight Talk. We have the Giggle Fest. I mean, Cooking with the Seasons with the girls.
No, they've stopped that. They got some listener feedback, and they're not doing that
They're being
anymore.
serious. Hey, Case.
They're not doing the Giggle Fest. You know, hey, one thing I just wanted to let people know, it's kind of a national thing. Over there in Wisconsin, or not Wisconsin, Kentucky rather, the Volkswagen plant.
Oh, my God.
They make Volkswagens, and Robert drives a Volkswagen.
I've had three.
He's got Farfignugan, folks, but he...
I have Kubelwagen.
Yeah, Hugula, and
Peoples.
he drives the German machine there, but the United Auto Workers wanted to organize the Volkswagen plant there in Kentucky, and they were voted down. The workers there said, no, we don't like paying to work. We don't need representation. The Germans treat us pretty nice over here. And, of course, the UAW couldn't accept that. And they're challenging the National Labor Relations Board, saying the vote was rigged or whatever.
Oh,
it just goes to show you that they don't have a lot of leeway. People that have a brain in their head know that they don't need to have union representation in the 21st century.
I've had 3 Volkswagens, 4 actually. They're very good. Well, they're very good. They're very well-made cars. They're very reasonable. And now I know why, because in Kentucky...
Did you see the new Consumer Reports about cars?
What about it?
The number one car, do you want to guess?
Volkswagen.
No, the Tesla.
Yeah.
They said it was the best car they've ever reviewed in the history of Consumer Reports.
Yeah.
And then you know what the 5 worst were? All Americans. Nope. Ford, Chrysler.
Man, but you know what?
GM.
Buick makes a good product. But hey, guys, we're on radio, aren't we?
Robert's car has a problem running out of gas periodically. I've had to push that thing a few blocks before.
Hey, Casey, did you get any of your mechanicalness cleaned and fixed and repaired? I mean, is the passenger door fixed?
Yeah. Well, Robert has a hard time looking at that. There's a bunch of gauges on the dash, if people don't know, and one of them.
No,
is the fuel
what it
gauge.
is I push the gas gauge. Come on, I live 2 blocks from a. I've got gas at the house or whatever. You know what? I don't pay attention to it. Okay, there's some things I don't pay attention.
That's terrible for the motor.
That's one of it.
Terrible
terrible for the motor. My motor's fine. Hey guys, are we on radio?
Yes, we are.
Did you know that Howard Hessman's birthday is today? Dr. Johnny Fever.
Ooh, back in the WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yep. WKYOS in Cincinnati.
That's right. Team Chaos right here.
Hey, he's 74. I thought he was older than
Your
that.
local radio station, Team Chaos.
All right, Team Chaos stands for Yosemite. That's right.
That's right.
Okay. Anyways, I want a kudo. Are you ready?
Who's that?
Yesterday, I went, one of the companies I represent had me take a computer back. So I go to Federal Express, and they set me up to Federal Express, and I go in there, and I had to take a leak. You know, the older I get, the more instant I have to take it. You remember when you were a kid, you can hold it? Now I can't. So anyways, I get there, I ask the lady to use the restroom. We don't have a restroom. I'm thinking, if you don't have a restroom, how do you go to the bathroom? Where do you go? She says, well, go over there to what they called the Hangar. I go, huh? She said, the Hangar. It's that little place across the way. I go over there. There is this cool diner called the Hangar. They had people in there. They were eating lunch, drinking beer, drinking drinks. I go in there. The people were fascinating. They were very nice. The guy recognized me, and I told him I'd get him a Budweiser hat. But they were really cool. One of the girls' names is Chelsea. Another girl's name is Maggie, who is going to do a music video in Texas here soon. And it was very pleasant. I was really... What are you giving that look for?
She's a singer or just she's an extra? I mean, she's going to cut a music video.
She says she's a singer. She plays mandolin. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a kind of place where they talk to you and they try to get to know you. Right. It's not like that'll be $3.99 and where's my tip? Okay. Sure. You know, those kind of places.
And like I said, I was telling you earlier, I heard there's a lot of business going on out there. People fly in, park their plane, come in.
When I was there were 3 people having lunch in this diner. And it's just a diner. But they had this killer bar. Yeah. And I'm sitting there, and I don't drink, but I had a drink anyways, give them some business. And I thought it was pretty cool.
You don't drink, but you had a drink anyway.
Yeah, I had friends of mine there.
You know what I like over there is they have fire pits outside. It's kind of cool.
You've been there before? You've been there before?
Yeah, you and I went there. I don't know. It was in the winter. It was
you don't know how to play this off, do you?
I remember, but they have these glass. Everybody's got these new glass propane heaters where the flame goes up a glass tube in the middle. It's kind of cool.
Oh, that's where you met the big, tall, lanky girl that was talking to you.
Yeah, there was a tall drink of water there that I was talking to. Of course, the age difference, she thought I was her father. But they had a fire pit over there, which was kind of cool. And I don't know if they worry about burn days or not. But it was just really a nice ambiance, nice vibe. And you're out there at the airport.
It was. Kudos to the Hangar. Cool. Kudos to the Hangar. That was a really nice place. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go there for lunch one day and see what the food's like. I really was.
Drag Steve over there.
Steve doesn't go anywhere. It's kind of like he lives with his mom, like Joe Pesci. Mom, I need the knife. Yeah, we hit a deer. You know that kind of. Remember that?
Not in a Norman Bates sort of way. But,
no, did you remember Joe Pesci with his mom, who is actually Mrs. Scorsese?
I'm going to borrow this knife, Mom. We hit a deer.
Yeah,
we
hit
in the grill.
Yeah, it's stuck in the grill. I need to cut it up. Meanwhile, he's stabbing the hell out of the guy in the trunk. But anyways, folks, reason we're all off the wall and we're all everywhere today is Casey and I and Steve decided we were going to keep it light, keep it fun. We had a real stressful last 2 days. We don't like to make it very heavy.
We've had a real stressful last 3 months.
Well, yeah, because there's
been some intense things going on here.
Because there's a lot of things going on.
We don't want to be 3 angry men.
No,
we're supporters of our community.
Too bad we're not 3 men and a baby. Casey, what are you doing over there? Hey, if we're 3 men and a baby, I'm Tom Selleck.
Well, did you? Well, I was going to say a joke, but I can't find a clean one here to tell it.
See, the thing is we have decided today not to research really much of anything. We're just going to have fun.
Do you want me to give you a little history lesson on KYOS?
You can do that.
Would that be interesting?
No, let's not totally lose the crowd. You know what you call a cow with no legs? Ground beef.
I was going to
talk about lose the audience.
But anyways, if anybody wants to, you guys are like, oh my gosh.
Hey, did you know KYOS?
Hey, you know what you get when you cross the Queen of England and Prince Charles? Murdered in a tunnel. Okay.
I don't know if I get that.
Are we off the air?
No, we're not off the air.
Check 1, 2.
You're going to have the English. You're going to have some of the.
Say that again, Casey, because I'm not getting that one. What do you get when you cross
the Queen of England and Prince Charles?
And Prince Charles, murder in a tunnel?
Where did Diana die?
In a tunnel. Don't you remember Princess
Diana?
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
Remember?
Yeah, that went over my head.
Oh, my God. Casey has the worst jokes.
All right, real quick. I'm giving you a history lesson on KYOS. Real quick. KYOS originally was on 1040 KC with 250 watts daytime when they came on the air in 1936.
Was Dave Luna their anchor then? How long has Dave? No, stop a minute. How long has Dave Luna been with the radio station?
I don't know if he's been here for the entire time, but he's been in the business for over 30 years.
Is Dave Luna used to do the radio when I was here the first time in 1984.
Yep.
And I listened to him, and fascinating man to talk to about music.
Dave Luna is an icon in our community.
Yes, he is. And you know what? We should do a shout out to one of our own, Dave Luna. He does a great job. Isn't he?
He gets me up every morning. Makes
Doesn't
me
he
laugh.
have the number one? Tell me that story.
He does. He has the number one morning show in the entire Central Valley.
Way to go, Dave.
They moved, KYOS moved to 1490 megahertz in 1942 or 1943 and went full time. They are still digging to find out when they moved to the current frequency of 1480 and increased to 5,000 watts.
Wow.
The original owner, Peter McClung.
A blind man walks into a bar,
what?
a table, and a chair.
Oh, are you there, Case?
Right.
Fell asleep for a minute.
Yep. And did you know
Did you have to eat a banana?
Did you know that KYOS used to be owned by Dean Lesher?
Did you know that KYOS, I heard, was owned by Jim Abate at one point?
Is that true? The
I heard
Abates
that.
owned KYOS at one
I
point?
heard that they owned a radio station.
Why don't they come back and buy it again?
See, he heard they owned a radio station. I don't think it was KYOS, Robert.
You know what? You know what? You are starting to grate on my nerves like Tim O'Neill. You do not think that I speak the truth. You think I speak with forked tongue. Yesterday you were proven wrong, and you still owe me an apology for having your information incorrect. Say you're sorry.
Quasi-incorrect, but quasi-correct. If we would have had that sewage plant, we might have had a chance.
Might have.
Okay.
Hey,
did you hear
listen.
about the corduroy pillow?
Say what?
The corduroy pillow, it's making headlines.
But your head looks like ruffles? You're terrible. Stop. Okay, where's my apology? I want to know I'm sorry.
You know what Steve always tells me is that life without women would be a pain in the ass.
I think you're pushing it. I think Damien's going to call and you... No, we're not off the air.
No, we've got another 5 minutes to get through.
Are you kidding? These people, the kids don't need to hear this. The parents are going to go, oh, listen to those kooks.
Well,
Anyways.
like I said, at least it's not, there's positive energy coming through.
There is. And you know what? There's a lot of, let's talk about a lot of positive things. I hear John Cardenas is trying to run the downtown. Anybody who doesn't know John, he's the guy who's got the bad toupee that sings Frank Sinatra. If you're down there on the weekends or whatever.
Robert, it's got to be nice.
All right. Can I put in a plug?
He's putting together the Downtown Association. Nothing wrong with that. He has gotten over 100 businesses. I don't think there's 100 businesses in downtown, but whatever. I think he's from Chicago.
He's counting all the vacant storefronts. He thinks Grubb and Ellis is a business.
There you go. Hey, what I think is funny is he's like Chicago, how to vote. Vote early and often.
Hey, you know what's blue and not heavy? Light blue.
Where'd you get these out of a kindergarten class? I mean, really?
You know why the lifeguard didn't save the drowning hippie? He was too far out, man.
He must have found his joke book.
He did. He's got. Oh man, he hits me with these when we go to brief and stuff like that.
All right, kudos. You got any kudos? You get kudos to Hangars. I want to give a quick kudos to our downtown farmers market. I attended that for the first time last week. Got some killer fresh fruits and vegetables right off the farm.
From Jay Marchini.
Some pistachio nuts.
From Jay Marchini.
Got some killer honey from some outfit out, I think, in Planada.
Nope, LeGrand.
LeGrand?
Yeah, okay. Her name is, she's
You know
awesome.
what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the short-haired gal that sells and this is funny, and this is what my father told me he read. We have allergy problems bad. My dad said the rumor has it if you buy honey from your local area honey, that it will clean up your allergies because the pollen will be local and you will have an adverse affection to it. And so
how's your dad doing, by the way?
Dad's doing good. Sold the house. He's in Vegas. He's mad.
Momo there yet?
He's happy. No, Momo's not there yet, but my dad is happy because today Chicago has a high of 3 and a low of -1.
No, they got murdered over there.
Everybody I talk to is just pulling their hair out. When will it end?
Exactly. The East Coast,
just getting slammed.
Yep.
So much for global warming.
Well, that's what they predicted with global warming is weather extremes.
Yeah, sure.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
You're not a believer in global warming? Casey, you have an opinion on global warming?
There's definitely climate change going on, folks.
But it's not global warming.
The question is whether or not it's man-made. When Mount Pinatubo blew up in the Philippines, it emitted more greenhouse gases than the entire Industrial Revolution.
Here's what I think. And people are going to
have to really look at this science and tell ourselves, what effect does man have on this? Now, am I saying it's no effect? No, I'm not saying that.
But here's the point.
Is it to the degree where we should have carbon taxes,
Casey,
AB 32?
Has nothing to do with carbon.
Burns more coal than America does. in a whole year, in a week. I don't know.
And it blows across the ocean into us.
Yeah, but that's not the problem.
Same ball of dirt, folks.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's not the problem. If you look at these earthquakes, they change weather patterns. You look at earthquakes, you look at tsunamis, they change weather patterns. You look at Florida. Florida gets hit one year with 13 hurricanes, and next year it has hit with one. Pattern flows are being changed. Global warming is not allowed to call it global warming. It's supposed to be called climate change because the Earth has actually gotten colder, not hotter.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, a few years ago in the 70s, they were predicting another mini ice age, and if people wonder how Yosemite was made, that was a glacier came through there and
Mammoth.
scoured off
Absolutely.
El Capitan. But
Well, I have some good news. I have some great news.
We're done.
We've come to the end of this mercy kill here.
Well, it's all over the map.
you know what you call cheese that doesn't belong to you?
Nacho cheese.
That's right.
Way to go, Steve. People, folks, if you think that our rants like this are stupid, let us know.
No, we're going to do this every once in a while. We have to. We have to decompress. We can't be just all tense all the time here.
No,
and all
because everybody
serious.
gets mad at us.
Yeah, you can turn us off. You have the power to turn the radio off.
Hopefully you won't.
You know,
But here,
you can,
I got to
you can
say.
what-
I got one.
Casey?
That even offended Robert.
Casey. Hey, I see something about Noah lore, and I'm like hammered, and you're over here talking about this and that.
That's why we come on at 9 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? All the kids are in bed, right?
Yeah.
Hey, real quick,
Hopefully people won't be too offended.
before we
Go ahead, Steve.
bring this to an end, I wanted to ask Robert. For the folks that don't know, we played kind of a practical joke on.
Yeah, what about it?
On Robert? Are you going to allow us to air that?
Yeah.
I recorded it all.
I thought it was a great joke. It was funny, and to set people up. I'll tell you what. Why don't the people call Casey at the 406?
Yeah, I have a
8728.
feeling I'm going to be getting some calls now.
No, and I want
Just
people to
fine.
call in and say it was a great punk. It really was. But what I didn't know is while they were punking me, they were recording the whole thing. I thought it was just a joke until I heard the whole thing, and I started laughing, and I go, "What?
Yeah. So you'll allow us to do that?
Yeah, that'd be good."
So maybe next week, folks, if you tune
It'd
in,
be a joke.
we'll play that for you in its entirety. We'll give you the
Yeah.
backstory.
You got to look into it though, because I don't know if I used bad words. Because I thought we were
I
off.
think you were pretty good, Robert. I
Yeah.
think actually you didn't swear.
I think there's a
I
couple.
have one more joke. I went to the zoo the other day, and they only had one dog. It was a Shih Tzu.
Casey, I don't know what Oklahoma's doing to you, brother, but you need to get back
He's
here.
at the reservation, is what he's
This is
at.
a boring day. We I don't know if we can do 3 shows a week, Steve.
That's all right, though, man. That's all right. You don't have to be serious all the time. Anyway, Casey, we're out of time. Why don't you take us home, buddy?
To bed,
Hey,
to
I
bed.
want to appreciate everybody listening to Citizen Watch the last 3 days, even my poor attempt at humor. I'm not a comedian.
To bed, to
Some
bed.
people would say I'm not even a radio show host, but I take exception to that. But we appreciate all of our listeners listening to KYOS AM 1480, Steve Colvard, Robert the Velvet Sledgehammer, Tomasetti, and I'm Casey Steed. And what do we say every time we leave, Robert?
Sometimes I say goodbye. Today it'll be goodnight, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.